Thank you very much, Luke, for being with us today. Fourth time in Vienna, first interview. Who is Luke Woodford?
How long have we got? Is this on a time limit? I am an artist and I am simply a dream chaser chasing dreams. Because for me, if we don't have dreams, what have we got? And that's how I feel. So I first picked up a camera after, I would say, leading a kind of a negative lifestyle. I was always searching for the thing that was the right fit for me. And I'm very grateful. In this interview, I haven't also told people I'm doing it. So if I name people, I'm going to just name them by first letter, just in case they don't want to be named. I'm sure they wouldn't have a problem. But it was, let's call her C. And it was July 18th, 2008. We went for lunch at a place called Simply Italian. I remember it. So I have a terrible memory, right? But I remember this quite clearly. And one other thing I say is that there is such thing as misremembering, and it was a lot of years ago, 18 years ago. But yeah, July 18th, 2008, we went for a lunch, and after trying different businesses that weren't quite that I'd always liked to do my own thing, right? I never fit into a 9 to 5 job. It didn't work for me, never worked out, got sacked from most of them. And yeah, my ex-girlfriend, she suggested that why don't I become a photographer? And I think I said, why to her? And she said, because you're quite creative. The word quite is quite funny now because as we'll get into later on, things happened in life and I'm uber creative now. But yeah, and I thought, okay, there's no overheads. It doesn't cost much to set up. And I remember the next day I bought a camera and it just clicked. I had no idea where the journey would take me at all. The initial idea was to photograph weddings, which I still do today, and because I absolutely love it and adore it. Best job in the world, but also doing family portraits and stuff like that. And then it evolved into street photography and evolved into photographing mostly females because I love big dresses and stuff like that. And I've ended up in the best gallery in the world, which is Toolip. I'm a dream chaser chasing dreams, and my goal is to be known as one of the greatest artists of all time, which I know a lot of people, especially in my town, they probably think I'm delusional. They talk about it and stuff like that. But can I swear in this? I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I am who I am, and I love chasing the dream. And I don't know if I'm not making, this is the difference. I want to be known as one of the greatest creators of all time, but I'm not telling people it's going to happen, right? I'm not telling people I am going to become known as one of the greatest creators, but having that dream and that goal to wake up to every day that's how I live my life. And I love trying to achieve that dream.
Wonderful answer. It couldn't be better. I think you already answered to the second question. What's your motivation in art?
Yeah, well, this is the thing that I want that, but there is another thing. There is other motivation. So I, without sounding cheesy, I just want to make everyone that knows me. I've had battles with demons throughout the years, and some of the battles I still continue to this day. And I'm not loved by everyone, but I have a lot of love from a lot of people, and there's people that have stuck by me through these demons and the challenges throughout the years, and I want to make them proud. And that is a big motivator to trying to achieve these dreams. I'm sure we'll get onto it later when we talk about the artworks, but I lost my dad a couple of years ago. And without getting emotional, we're only like a few minutes in, but I just want to my mum's alive. I want to make her proud, but I want to make my dad proud. And I do feel his energy with me still. And also, I've never told anyone this, But I knew, obviously, for a couple of weeks, we knew we were going to do this interview. And my motivation, I want to be remembered. I am scared of, although I believe I'm not religious. I'll just say it how it is. I don't personally believe in heaven or hell, but I believe our energies live on and our spirit lives on. But I still have this fear in me of, if we die, that's it. And not being remembered. So part of my motivation, I don't know if it's like a not selfish thing, but I want to be remembered, and that's another reason why I do this. I don't want to die, and then I want people to remember me through the years to come. And obviously, the other key person is my son, Milo, my beautiful son. I want to make him proud. And I haven't always, I don't think, been the best father, but I want to make him as proud as possible. I want him to look up to his dad and set an example for him and be like, my dad did this. My dad got kicked out of college. I didn't have good grades at school, but look what my dad's managed to do through the years. I basically want to be remembered, do it for my family and close friends. And I want to be known as one of the greatest of all time.
Brilliant. Tell us, what do we have behind you?
We have a lot behind me. It is 6 photographic artworks from every era of my creative existence, from the beginning to now. The first one being Abandoned Fashion. I always believe in having a series. I feel it's better personally to build body of works that are cohesive rather than just random. And people like to follow a series. I loved abandoned buildings. I used to explore them ever since I was a kid, really. I must have, estimating, photographed and visited about 200 across the UK and Europe. And also at this point, I started photographing models. And I thought, well, it's not groundbreaking, but why not have a series called Abandoned Fashion, photographing models in abandoned fashion in abandoned buildings. This one here, called Broken Wings, it's actually got a bit of a story behind it. The dress that you see made out of feathers, stunning, absolutely. I adored it, and I was very grateful to have the opportunity to shoot Susie Turner Couture. But I got it filthy. So where the model is laying on the floor, there is actually plastic underneath her, but the plastic ripped. And I got the dress dirty, and it's worth £100,000. So considering to say I was crapping myself a little bit, yes, I was. So I had this, once I got it dirty, I was like, oh my God. I thought, okay, show Susie the images first. She adored them. That's good news. Then tell her about the dress. And she was fuming with me. Rightly so, because it's my responsibility to not get something. It doesn't matter if it's worth £10 or worth £100,000. It's my responsibility to not get it dirty, right? And of course, and I did. It's probably the only time ever, and probably the most expensive dress I've ever shot. She was so angry with me. I even offered to go up to London and help, like, redo the feathers. It just had a line across the middle of it. But it's part of the journey, and we're obviously cool after that. But yeah, that was my first series, and absolutely loved that era of my journey. I mean, this is 2013-ish. I've been doing this 18 years this year. Now, avid people watching this and to follow me on social media might see that on my reintroduction post from last year, I said that I'd be doing it 18 years then. I actually made a miscalculation. It was July 2008. And then I met, in the second photograph here, we have Mandy. Now, Mandy and I had known each other for a few years prior. We were friends and we started dating. And I started photographing her. And, you know, I loved her. And I was becoming, with abandoned fashion, I was becoming a bit frustrated with it because my brain was getting so creative that it was limiting me. I didn't just want to shoot in abandoned buildings anymore. And then I remember waking up next day with Mandy and I was like, oh my God, I've got this idea. Forget abandoned fashion. That's dead. I will just photograph you for the rest of my life. And she's probably thinking, oh my God. But she did her own thing as well. It was I think I had like 2 shoots in 5 years with other people. I thought we were going to be together forever at that point, obviously, as you do. So I dedicated my life to only photographing her. And the plan was to release a book every 2.5 years. And of course, we released the first one because we parted ways after about 5. But I'm very grateful for Mandy in the art because she did quite a lot of things she didn't really want to do, but she did it for me. And because I'm so persistent and I'm like, let's do it. I was probably a bit unfair, but I reflect on it now. And yeah, I think of this shoot in Iceland that we did on our early days as well. We found this abandoned, we didn't, online, there's this abandoned aeroplane in Iceland. And I was like, oh my God, let's go and do a shoot there. It'd be brilliant. So we flew to Iceland and oh my God, I remember, so Reykjavik is obviously the capital where you fly into and you stay. And I think the aeroplane is about a 40-minute drive away. And I remember she was in the front and I was in the back, I think, because she had the dress on and that. And oh God, we were in the car and I was looking at the temperature in the car and about every 3 minutes it was dropping by a degree. And I think we ended up, when we got to the location, it was -13. And I was thinking, oh shit, I'm going to get dumped here. She's going to hate me. But bless her, she was barefoot in the snow. We did it super quick. Don't get me wrong. Super, super quick. And we did this amazing shoot, and maybe I'll exhibit it here one day. I just wanted to say that because I'm just very grateful for the journey with her and what we did create together. It had its ups and downs, but it was an amazing journey. And the art we created together is kind of timeless, and I'm very, very proud of it. I hope she is too, to some extent. But and of course we had a beautiful boy together. Milo, my son, and she's the mother. The reason I picked this photograph to show in my 6 eras, this one I love, but there's about 100 that I really love. And it's probably wouldn't technically be in my top 10, but I picked this one because it was probably the last favorite photo that I took before we parted ways. It was taken in France when we lived there. And she's actually standing on a stool to create the height, and it was taken in the local city near us, called Tarbes, and I loved it. Now this is where there's going to be a bit of a story in between here, because when we go to El Luca, why have I suddenly gone from photographing females to dressing up in a morph suit? One of the big catalysts to us parting ways. I won't go too into it at this stage, but the brief sort of story is that my mental health since I was diagnosed with clinical depression when I was 16, chronic anxiety a couple of years later, which I've battled with still all my life. And then I had my first experience of psychosis when I was I want to say about 21, 22, but I didn't know what it was at the time. I didn't know, but it was bad. My brain snapped, but it came back. And then every sort of, I want to say as an estimate, there might be people that are watching this that know I've got this wrong, but I want to say roughly every 2 months I would have an episode, but it would last about 20 minutes. I would if we're having a conversation, I would misinterpret what you're saying, have an argument, and then cry, and then I would be okay. And because it was once every 2 months, I kind of lived with it. But in the last year, when we moved to France, it was getting more and more regular. And I was becoming really poorly. It even got to the point where I think it was Mandy that suggested, like, I think you're bipolar, because she's got experience with it in her family. And I trusted what she says. I even went to a wedding venue one day and I was so like manic with idea. I mean, I still live in mania now. Like I kind of live in a manic state, but I remember the owner of I came up with all these ideas to do an exhibition there and do this. And she said, Luke, first time she met me, and she goes, Luke, are you manic depressive? Which is, of course, bipolar, the new term. And that really got to me. So I flew to England by myself to try and get a diagnosis at the doctor's. And it just takes so long in the UK. And I remember, I think it was a few weeks after, sorry, it's hard for me to talk about, but I want to because I feel it's important because it is part of the journey. But a few weeks after, or maybe a month after I came back, we were having like I don't know why, we were just having like a gathering at the house because Mandy's parents lived 10 minutes away. We had a friend over. Her brother was, I think it was when her brother was even living with us at the time. It's hard to remember, but yeah, we were having this family gathering, and then all of a sudden my brain, and when that happened, that was the start of everything crumbling in my life, everything. I remember everyone left that night. I won't tell the in-depth, maybe we'll do that in a different one and focus on it, but everyone left that night apart from one friend. Everyone left. It was a madness. They all went to her mum's house because I lost my mind. I had one friend that stayed with me, and I was having, I describe it as good brain and bad brain. And the bad brain was taking over, and then the good brain would come back, bad brain. And when the good brain came back, I said, please, mate, get me to hospital. I am unwell. Please get me to hospital. So this was about 10 o'clock at night. And I jumped in his car and we were en route to the hospital. And I remember bad brain kicking in, or bad wolf, I used to call it, kicking in. And I wanted to jump out the car whilst it was moving. And then good brain kicked in and I said, mate, keep driving, but I undid my belt, crawled into the back seat where he didn't have a door, I don't think, in the back seat. So I was safe. I remember getting to the hospital in a city called Osh, beautiful city anyway, but it's weird what you remember in life, especially with someone with a bad memory. But I remember looking in the eyes of the people at the hospital, and they said, Mr. Woodford, you don't need to be here. You need to be at a hospital that's 10 minutes away. And I was like, what's going on? Why? Tell me why. And they just said, please go to the other hospital. So my friend drove me to the other hospital. They were aware that I was coming, and it was a psychiatric hospital. And that kind of undermines kind of what the place was. I mean, this is an old school asylum, really. It's kind of like how the local people in Eastbourne will remember Hellingly Mental Asylum. There's ones all over the country. They don't exist anymore in England, really. They do it differently now, but they do in France. It was gated. It was security. I know that there's people that go into that hospital that never come out. And I know there was people in straitjackets. There was people being pinned against the wall, and I couldn't even speak the damn language. It was, but what I will say is the staff were amazing. They did get me on the right medication fairly quickly, but that was the instigator to me losing everything. It wasn't, there was other reasons why we parted ways, but it was a massive thing, right? Well, when I was in hospital, I remember seeing the psychiatrist for the first time. She looked at me in the eyes and go, Mr. Woodford, just so you know, you are type 1 bipolar, not type 2, not borderline personality, you are type 1 bipolar. And I was like, shit, Like, okay, but we'll deal with this. But having bipolar, and also I got diagnosed with ADHD in recent years, having bipolar is the scariest thing, and it caused the destruction of my life. But however, it is the most beautiful thing I've ever been blessed with, because it gives me my supreme creativity, which I believe sets me apart from many other photographic artists. And I've been fully medicated for years now. I fluctuate between mania and stuff, but my brain hasn't broken since I've been on medication. I'm very grateful for the doctors. I trust my path and that everything happens for a reason. It's a beautiful thing. Oh, and you've got to be positive in life, right? I'm grateful for having bipolar, which is weird to say, but I am. The reason, so that's the story of kind of the collapse, but the reason El Luca was born was because after dedicating my life to only photographing the same person, I was like, well, I'm never going to be able to photograph a model ever again. I didn't think I'd be able to. And then as a few months passed, I needed to be creative. And I thought, do you know what? I might not be able to photograph another model ever again, but I can photograph myself. Then I thought, okay, I'm not that good looking, but, and I'm not that I don't look like a model. So what should I do? I know, I'll buy some colourful morph suits. Those are the names of the suits that I wear, and I'll dress up in them and I'll photograph myself. So El Luca was born, and I photographed myself 43 times across England and a few in France, and when we had to go back for work and stuff like that. And it was a really weird era, that, because I was still dealing with the trauma of losing everything. But I'm grateful for that era. And do you know what? They sold quite well. I was quite sort of shocked. I don't know, but I didn't do them for sales. I did it. None of my art I ever do for sales. I do not try and do it. I know in England, there's the art that is all famous people in black and white and then spray paint colours out and do all of these things. And I can do that. I don't want to do that. I create what I love. And if it sells, it sells. For me, art is not... I remember bumping into someone a couple of weeks ago, and a friend of mine, really great guy, really successful photographer. He's amazing, but he does commercial photography, right? And he said to me, I've made 200 grand this year, at the end of last year. And honestly, absolutely commend him for that. And everyone loves money and I love money. But for me, I don't do this for money. I can't do commercial photography. If someone asks for a random job and I've got time, I could do it. But I'm here to be remembered, and I'm here to do what I love. Photography and art is escapism and therapy for me. That's why I shoot so damn much, which we'll get onto this later, and I'm trying not to shoot so much now. But I do what I love, and when the money comes, and I'm happy with my art sales. But I do this for the love, not the money. So the next artwork we'll touch on is Resurrection, which was my fourth era. This is from my Resurrection series. During the whole split from Mandy, I ended up drinking a lot as a coping mechanism. And even though I love the El Luca series and stuff like that, but it was a bad time for me. It was not a good time in my life. And Resurrection, although it still had kind of a few ups and downs through it, Resurrection really saved me. And that's why it's called Resurrection. That was when my life began to become fun again. Doing what I do, love shooting models, love getting creative. El Luca I love the results of El Luca. I think it's cool, but it wasn't my passion. My passion is, I know in this one she's not wearing a dress, but I've picked that one for a reason. But I love shooting mostly sometimes guys, but mostly the female form dresses and stuff like that. And I got back to that, and instead of drinking mostly on a negative path, I think there was 84 photo shoots for Resurrection done in under 2 years. And it saved me. I had a couple of hiccups here and there, but that's life. This isn't being negative about other bodies of work. Resurrection was probably my favorite body of work because Resurrection really saved me. And I loved it. I met so many new people. The whole series is black and white. It's funny actually because people are like, why is it all black and white? I didn't mean to make them black and white. You can see I shoot color as well, right? But the first three just looked good in black and white. And I was like, oh God. And then, so I just carried it on. And then it just became, everything is now black and white and black and but yeah, this particular photograph is actually of Gabrielle, who made this creation with me next to me, but we'll get on to that. She has been a key. I've known Gabrielle as a friend for about 15, 20 years, but she has been a key part of my creative journey professionally. And she's been in photos, she's made things, her dress is photographed about 20 times at least in Resurrection, and Resurrection would not be what it is without her. I value her so highly and I'm so grateful. You always hear me use the word grateful, but I am just so bloody grateful to everyone. And yeah, the reason I picked this one is because it's the book cover. For those that don't know, Resurrection is a book that can be bought on my website. It's a photographic. Can do, yeah. Let's go and get the book. Shall I stop? Okay, fine. But it's a photographic art book with all of the photographs from the series in. And maybe I'm not going to call it my favorite series because I love all the series actually, but it's my most profound journey, I think, and the series I'm most proud of because it took a lot to get there. This is the book, people. So yeah, I can't really, it's filled with that's Gabrielle there on a crane. The idea of the crane was actually hers. And yeah, it's just, there's the twins. Stephanie, if you can see the twins, let's show the twins off. I won't show you. They're all on my website, the photographs anyway. Have we got any, what's another? I'll tell you one I'll show actually. I did a mini mental health series in Resurrection, and it's all the mental health things that I've had throughout the years. Got anxiety. We've got anxiety.
Show the front cover.
Show the front cover, yeah. Okay, cool. This is the front cover, which, as you can see, is the same photo that's on the wall. I had an amazing tattoo artist that I know, and she really helped with it, and she did the graphic design for me. So really, really happy. And of course, it's got my logo on the back because my logo goes everywhere. But yeah, Resurrection was an amazing series. So now if we get on to Resurrect the Iconic, which is the top one there. So a couple of years ago, I had, there's a sculpture in my town of Eastbourne by an amazing person, made out of sort of, I don't know what the era is. It's not the same cameras that I used, but like sort of, I suppose, some disposable and digital cameras, but they're all plastic ones, right? Anyway, it's a robot made out of cameras. I saw it, and then I was like, okay, I have an idea. What if I make a dress out of cameras? Then I thought, nah, it's bloody impossible. But every few days, I'll be laying in bed, right? At night times, I'm not being lazy, even though I do love a bed, but the idea kept niggling at me. And I was like, oh, what do I do? Is it possible? It would be absolutely amazing. So I went to Gabrielle. I said, Gabs, I've got this idea, right? Help me. Because obviously she's a dress designer. So if she's going to know if it can work or not. And the first thing she goes, yeah, it can definitely work, Luke. It can definitely work. I'm like, what the hell? I'll go, how? She goes, well, I won't tell I won't give away everything to do with it, but she basically gave me the foundation of how it can be constructed. So I was like, right, okay, well, we're on it. Let's do it. So I started collecting cameras. My God. So this dress is made out of 350 vintage cameras and accessories. Impossible to be replicated because it's just impossible. Some of the old box cameras are 100 years old and there's a million different models of them. It's impossible to replicate. I got them, and people ask me where I got them from. So I got them from Facebook Marketplace, eBay. Friends just gave them to me because they believe in the cause, and I've got amazing people around me. And also boot fairs. I don't know if you have boot fairs here, but it's like a market where people sell stuff out of their cars. And that's where I got a lot of them from. And I collected boxes and boxes and boxes. And of course, we built the frame. I need to give, I was going to wait to the end for this, but I need to give my partner a shout out, Lila. Yes, you are getting a mention, Lila. Well deserved. I mean, this person, she did it all with me. And like, she and her mum as well, and other people as well. But Lila put everything into helping with this dress. Honestly, and she built, I was getting so what we had to do, because it's so heavy, is we constructed the base and everything, and then the cameras had to be put onto the dress on site, and she did most of it, like actually putting them on, and she just that person, Lila, is the most, if anything, she sacrificed too much for me already. Like this year, I'm going to get onto this, but this year is her year because she gives everything to me, and she is the most amazing, supportive person I've ever had in my life. And so grateful for many things. And she also, I'm going to say this now, she's an amazing fucking artist, and she needs to be promoted as well, but we're doing that this year. But anyway, so grateful for her. Loads of people are like Lee, for helping transport it, Ollie for helping with his knowledge on the cameras. But yeah, anyway, so we had the idea, and then I thought, what are we going to do for the corset, for the top half? So my mum found my mum found loads of old family photos. And then I was like, this is perfect. There's ones from my grandparents. There's ones from my great grandparents, and then wedding day and all of these things. So the corset is my family history on the torso. It's my whole family history, but there's one main picture which is on there. Now, my mum found this picture of my dad wearing around his neck a really old camera. I didn't know what it was, so I posted it on a Facebook group, and everyone told me it was a Zorky 4K, which is a Russian camera. So it's not this particular. So 3 or 4 of the photos are in color. I can't remember if I did 6 or 8 now, but 8 I think, and 4 of them are in black and white. Now the black and white photos that I've taken are taken on exactly the same camera that my dad has in this photo around his neck, because I sourced it from Russia, and they're taken on exactly the same camera, and that picture of my dad with the camera is actually on the dress. So it's just insane. 350 cameras, my whole family history, a lot of it, even my son's on there. So it's like 100 years ago to now. And the craziest, and a massive shout out to the model Tilly as well, and her mum. The model was an easy choice. Tilly's amazing. She was part of lots of resurrections, incredible. And she's been a muse for me throughout my journey in recent years. But the craziest part of the shoot is that with my dad's ashes, we sprinkled some of them in a place, but he said, just before he died, he told me to sprinkle them in something really special. Sorry.
All right.
So, sorry, the way that I saw it was, this is the most special thing I've ever made. So just before the shoot, you can actually see it in the if you look closely in the bottom of the pictures, I sprinkled the ashes into the dress, the last of his ashes. So he couldn't be there on the shoot, obviously, because he's no longer here. But it means he's eternally part of my favorite thing that I've ever done, which was the most special thing to me that I've ever done. And yeah, like this shoot is sorry, man. Sorry. Just miss him so much. I just I sprinkled the ashes in, and this whole shoot is dedicated to him. It's solely dedicated to him. I haven't really touched on my dad yet, but the whole reason that life wasn't so great for a while as well was because my dad passed a couple of years ago, and it's mad, right? Because we didn't even have the closest relationship. My dad never. No one really understands. Apart from Lila understands me. I don't know if anyone else does. But my dad tried so hard to understand me. But because we were such different brains and people, my dad never had any mental health problems. So he just didn't understand me, but he really tried. And it's just, I don't know, look, without going on, it's just hard. It's just hard, but I miss him so much. And that shoot is dedicated to my dad. And I miss him, man. I miss him. So I think there's more to the resurrect. There's more to resurrect the iconic, but we'll get on to the sixth era, which is my current era, which is Resurrection 2. Now, Resurrection 2 is I'm going to shoot whatever I want. This may be throwing it back to homeless portraits, music industry, models, street photography, everything that I've done throughout my existence. There is now no boundaries in a series. So Resurrection 2, I'm doing, actually, I'm probably contradicting myself because I think at the beginning I said it's important for a series to be cohesive, but for Resurrection 2, I am doing anything that I want, full creativity, and see where it leads. Now this particular photograph I picked is of a musical artist called Jar Digger. Literally, if he doesn't become a generational talent, I'll quit photography. No, I won't, but I will be shocked. He came up on my algorithm on Instagram with a song called Broken Blokes, and it is so powerful. One of the best songs. He is generally amazing anyway, but one of the best songs I've heard in a decade, and I resonate. At times in my life I've been a broken bloke, so I had to reach out to him on Instagram. Do you know what? Honestly, I think he replied in about 10 minutes, and he saw my work, and we spoke and sent a voice note, and he was like, "You're an artist," and I'm like, "You get me, thank you." And we did it. I think about a few days later, he went from Essex to London. He was doing some stuff in London. I went to London. It was quite mad because I just found a black wall, and I photographed him against this plain black wall. No, it just looked like nothingness. But then when you see closely on the top, what we did is printed the photograph out and put glass over the top and smashed it. So it's like he's a broken bloke. So he's actually used it. He was so happy with it that he used it for the single cover. So it's across like iTunes and Spotify and all that now. And I just wanted to include that one because it's a bit different from my other work, and also show respect for him for working with me, getting me as an artist. And yeah, if I'm just going to promote him now, like go on Instagram or any form and look up Jar Digger, JAH space DIGGA, amazing artist, and I hope to work with him again in the future. Now, the dress. The dress. So when I say I want to be known as one of the greatest of all time, I really mean creator, not pigeonholed as an artist or photographer. It's always been a dream of mine to have my own couture line. And actually, we dabbled a little bit in the Mandy era back in the day, but we never really went anywhere with it, and I'm quite glad because now it's obviously under my brand, Luke Woodford. Because instead of what I didn't tell you earlier is that we were called Luke and Mandy. It was actually just our own brand. But anyway, so I went to Gabrielle, convinced her to. I went to actually no. The story is I'm forgetting parts of the story. I wanted to do a couture dress and launch Luke Woodford Couture. I don't mean hundreds of dresses. I mean, like probably maybe 2, 3, or 4. It all depends on how well I can convince Gabrielle to help me. But she does. She is good at helping me. Thank you, Gabrielle. I was speaking with you guys at the gallery, and you said that Mrs. Toolip, was interested in having a portrait taken by me, and I just suddenly. I rang Gabrielle and I was like, this is the time. And truthfully, I went to Gabrielle I said, I'd like us to do is to make a dress in the shape of a tulip. Now, at the moment, because of the Upside Down exhibition, it's upside down. But yeah, and I went to Gabrielle with the idea of a dress made out of a tulip. But the actual construction and design is Gabrielle. Like, the concepts from me, but the brainchild. And it was her idea to have it flip. So as you know, it goes up and it can come down, and you can wear it 2 ways. She's a genius. She's a genius. And I had a lot of it. I had input and stuff throughout the journey of it, but I could never. The construction of it is down to her, and I'm very much looking forward to the next one. So this is the first piece of Luke Woodford Couture. I'm looking forward to bribing Gabrielle into into helping me more with some more dresses.
And perhaps you can explain where it has been presented.
So the reason all of these things here have been presented for the Requiem exhibition at Toolip Art Gallery is because it was the most important exhibition I'd ever been a part of. Anniversary of Mozart's death, 234th, and we know the story behind it all. And instead of just picking one big artwork, I thought, no, let's tell the story. I wanted, at the most important exhibition I've ever done, to tell the most important story. So I decided to tell my journey from start to finish.
Amazing, amazing. And also, there is a parallelism, no? Because when you die, people bring you flowers. So I think Mozart up there is proud of his homage.
Exactly that. And the whole thing is a homage to him, and just being, the whole exhibition was fantastic. I mean, the artwork levels is just, I feel with every, this is my 4th time here now. And it's always been amazing. But I feel each time it's getting better, and the exhibitions. This is, I believe wholeheartedly. Do I know about every gallery in the world? No, I don't. But I feel even weird calling. Toolip Gallery is not. It's not just a gallery. It's an experience, and that's why. Like any artist, to have the opportunity to be a part of one of your experiences is genuinely, they need to get involved and submit and try to do it, because they're having the Upside Down yesterday, talking about a world topic and blacking out every artwork and then unveiling them upside down and having the experience of turning them up the right way, because that's what it reflects on this is not just a gallery. This is not be a part of just an exhibition. We're hanging your walls, we're doing everything that you do is memorable, rememberable, and iconic. And I want to move here really, and I've got my son, so I won't, and all of this stuff. But this is the most innovative gallery on planet Earth, I am convinced. I don't know about every single gallery in the world, but any gallery that I've ever seen or any gallery I've ever worked with does not compare to this. That's it.
God bless you. Thank you very much. We are so proud of you. We are making history together. I told you this is a team thing, and without you, this wouldn't be the same. So
I appreciate that. Thank you.
God bless you. We have
Thank
so
you.
much things to do with you, so much.
Yes.
This is just getting better and better.
This is literally like, you know, when was the first exhibition that I did? It was,
Was the portraits, no?
I think so, or it might have been
Or
before.
Divide Impera.
That one, yeah, yeah, that was it. So, and that was when that. What I mean, our relationship is still new, but like what we're talking about and what we're thinking about for the future. I mean, this is for me a lifelong relationship now, and you know, I see the gallery and everyone like here as genuine family. Like I've got I'm blessed with so many friends in Eastbourne and that, but because of the life that I lead and the art life and that, I don't. There's always quite often a part of a connection missing. And when I come here, it's just family. You look after me so well, and I don't know how this happened, but I'm here and I'm fucking grateful.
Well, because you are a worthy person. You earn it, and you deserve the best. You are the best, and we need to do things with you. We would be stupid. We would be idiots if we don't take advantage of what to work with you. It's priceless. I'm super proud of working with you.
Thank you.
It's like a bless.
Thank you.
Appear there. So this is just the beginning. We have so many big plans, as you know.
Yeah.
We are not going to unveil them,
No, we're not.
but they will flip out.
Yeah, they better do.
So tell us now what the plans are for 2026.
So this is going to be a really interesting, different year to me. I had a funny time over this Christmas, and I've done a lot of reflecting. I spend every day chasing the damn dream, and I'm not going to stop chasing the dream, but things are going to be more calculated, and I'm going to shoot less this year. My people around me deserve more of my attention. My son gets my attention, don't get me wrong, but and I see him a third to half of the week, but I want to be more mindful around him. Lila, she deserves my damn attention. And I want to promote her more this year because she's such a talent. Thing is, she won't mind me saying this, she needs to be pushed a bit, whereas I don't. Give me anything and I'm like, psh, I just run with it. She deserves my time. I want to spend more time with my mum this year. I love my mum, you know, she's not old, but none of us are getting any younger. And I want to do different things in life. I want to start to swim again. I want to start being a bit healthier. Get off the Red Bulls. That's the next thing. Saying that I've got one right there, haven't I? And then there's another thing I want to do as well. So a lot of people don't know this. Some people do. I used to, in my early days, I used to photograph and try and help the homeless quite a lot. I haven't done it properly for years and years. We've got a big homeless problem in our town. A big problem. It's big. And I want to spend some time working on that because these people mostly are good people, man. They've got addictions, maybe some of them, or most of them have just taken the wrong path or been unlucky at some point. I can't bear it anymore every time I'm in town and I see it. So I want to put some attention into that. So I want to focus on my people around me. I want to see some friends more because otherwise I just photograph and I just work and obviously I've got a lot of weddings this year. I'm so grateful. I cannot wait for the weddings this year. Weddings is my ultimate happy place. I love it. So grateful for all the people that book me. And I just love weddings. You know, I've done over 800 now. It's weird. Each year I seem to love it a bit more and a bit more each time. So, you know, obviously do that. And then just loved ones, weddings, help the homeless in Eastbourne if I can. I'm going to still do my thing. Resurrection 2 is fully alive. But instead of shooting every week, I'm going to shoot like maybe once every 3 to 4 weeks and spend more time and they will be more epic. I've got a semi-planned, but I've got a couple of things I'm working on that are absolutely should be in my top 10 of all time, I think. But I feel like this year still in the art world is going to be the most powerful year I've ever had. Okay, so the other thing that is very important that I'm doing this year is releasing Luke Woodford uniform. So we've got the couture, and the uniform is what I wear every day and have done for the last year. We've got 6 designs. Uh, I won't even go through them right now. You can actually see them on my Instagram, really, because it's all I do is wear my logos and stuff. But yeah, we're released as LW Luke Woodford uniform. We've got something really exciting planned for the launch, and I'm really excited for that. So yeah, it's going to be a really interesting year.
Bombastic.
And that is mostly because of what we've got planned. So yeah, grateful to you. Just thank you for being the best gallery in the world, and thank you for having me, man. I'm so grateful to you and Mrs. Toolip. I go on about it, but I am. You guys are. It's not just about the experience and stuff. On a personal level, you are amazing, amazing humans. And you know, like since I first walked in the gallery and we had our first conversation, it was just a connection thing, and it works. So I'm just so excited. Thank you so much. And yeah, thank you to anyone that's listened to this. It's also good. It's good mentally to get stuff out. So thank you.
Thank you very much to you, dear. It's a pleasure. He's the best photographer we ever met and we ever worked with. We are so proud of you. It's an honor to have you here. And just as somebody says, the best is yet to come. So God bless you.
True that. Thank you.